You all got the recording notification. Uh, Again, thank you all for attending today's event, sponsored by Milner Library, that celebrates National Poetry Month and features the outstanding poet Nadia Williams. My name is Mallory Jallis, and I'm the Student Success Librarian at Milner, for those of you that don't know me. I'm happy to welcome you on behalf of Milner Library to our event today. We're virtually together today, and if this was in person, we would be gathered at Milner Library on the ISU campus. So in that spirit, I'm going to acknowledge that land that ISU occupies. So Illinois State University was built on the land of multiple Native nations. These lands were the traditional birthright of Indigenous people who were forcibly removed and have faced centuries of struggle for survival and identity in the wake of dispossession and displacement. We would like to acknowledge that our campus sits on the lands that were once the home of the Illini, Peoria, the Miamia, and later, due to colonial encroachment and displacement, to the Fox, Potawatomi, Sauk, Shawnee, Winnebago, Iowa, Mascoutine, Piankashaw, Wea, and Kickapoo nations. We also express honor to those Indigenous people who we may have excluded in this acknowledgement due to erasure and historical inaccuracy. We want to thank the members of the ISU Native American Studies program, the Department of History, the Department of Sociology, Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, and the Multicultural Center for sharing their land acknowledgement statements, so we were able to develop this one. Also, in that spirit of acknowledgement, I do want to recognize that this week's events, the verdict in Minnesota, and yet another murder of a Black person by police, these events are impacting us all and our community. Coming into this space, you may be bringing a range of emotions, feelings, trauma. We want to recognize those and invite you into this space with our community. We want to say that we see you, we support you, and we're here with you today. So, with that introduction, I do want to say April is National Poetry Month, a celebration of poetry and poets that engages folks to recognize that poets have an integral role to play in our culture and that poetry matters. This 2021 celebration marks the 25th anniversary of this event that was started back in 1996 by the Academy of American Poets. Annually, this event is recognized in schools, libraries, bookstores, and beyond. We're excited that you're here with us to mark our celebration at Illinois State University. So on to today's event, we're featuring the poetry of Nadia Williams. Nadia is a senior English major at Illinois State University. She's from Chicago and serves on as the vice president for the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority and is the president of the Black Greek Leadership Council at Illinois State. This past fall, Nadia competed and won the National America's Best College Poet competition. Nadia's slam poetry is inspired by her life and growing up in Chicago. She's going to share with us today. So our plan for today is that Nadia is going to read for about a half hour or so, and then we're going to leave some time at the end for some question and answers with her and, just a nice conversation. So I do want to give a heads up. We are recording. You all got the notice. This is for folks that can't join us today. And without further ado, I'm going to ask you to provide a very warm Zoom welcome. Get your reactions, your little clap hands together for our featured poet, Nadia Williams.
Hi, everybody. I am Nadia Williams. I'm a Gemini. All jokes aside, I would like to first and foremost give acknowledgement. My mother is on the call. Hey, Miss Williams. And thank you all for sharing it with me today, some of my artwork. So I will open up with a poem about where I'm from. I'm from the streets that birth slum flowers from potholes. Teddy bears kiss lockers in memory of my kin. Our mothers keep eulogies and prayers and Bibles. I'm from where juke parties are revivals. I'm from the migration from down south to find better living, only to be put in projects projected from privileges looking glass. I'm from where we ain't got no pots to piss in, but we got schools to be standardized in. I'm from all the Cabrini green thumbs that help grow them black and brown slum flowers, where angels' tears were turned into sauce, Doves do not weep for us, our mothers do. Mothers who mason jar their own tears to heal the gunshot wounds. Mama bears who hide shotguns in their lungs, ready to aim and protect for their cubs. Death be our strange father. Chicago, a mother who has been beaten by him too many times, where murder don't shock me no more. More babies being bodied. When summer comes, we see no bodies. Here we hopscotch with our killers, play spades with our killers, and our mothers still pray for them. Hope that it ain't their child on the other side of the gun. Here, the only L we take proudly is the train. Rainbows pushed across the city and reside on the south side. I'm from Chicago, where we got too many Laquans that cannot rise. Where we got too many headstones and headlines. We shaking up on so many blocks, Chicago has lost her foundation. We work on hand and footwork just to get out. I'm from the home of house and homicides, but they only credit us for murder. Like all these musicians don't exist. I'm from where bucket boys beat death by the rhythm, where we got pickup games and stick up kids, where our roses are traded for no apparent reason, where there are more abandoned buildings than children, where our feet work almost as fast as God. So yeah, I'm from the South Side. If you haven't noticed, if you can't tell, my vibe is different from the South Side. Sorry about that, you guys. Sorry, okay. So now I'm going to get into a poem about my mom. Your mama's so black. She makes her cornbread with the sweat of your grandma's hands. Your mama's so black, she treats all your friends like next to kin. Your mama's so black, she has a heart of gold and a hand of iron. Your mama's so black, she make miracles out of penniless situations. Your mama's so black, she hopscotches over oppression. Your mama's so black, she still look 22. Your mama's so black, she got that sojourner truth type of determination. Your mama's so black, her faith has changed nations. Your mama's so black, she's one of God's favorite creations. Your mama's so black, she ain't scared of nothing except losing you. If you come home past your curfew, she's worried sick about you. The type of prayers that shake the shackles from around your soul. Your mother just wants you to grow. Your mama's so black, her soul poured into Sunday soul food. She nourishes you with proverbs and a switch. Your mama's so black, she is a medical mystery. Your mama's so black, her war cry is break every chain. Your mama's so black, her melanin melts away morning. Your mama's so black, the moon envies her midnight. Your mama's so black, she has a force of God under her tongue. You can hear her yell 6 blocks down to the street to stop letting the air out her house. She is a living testament of Father Time being a deadbeat. Your mother is timeless. Your mama's so black, her rich laughter swells a room and busts the ceiling at its seam. Your mama's so black, she can finally get her flowers while she's still here on this earth. Your mama's so black, God was made in her image. Your mama's so black, she's every woman that didn't know her own strength. Your mama's so black, Whitney Houston sang about her. Your mama's so black, she is warm biscuits on a fall evening. Your mama's so black. I definitely say I love both my parents, but you know, my mom is a big inspiration for a lot of my poems. She is my heart, and one of the biggest supporters. I dragged her all around Chicago to do poetry and to do competitions. So you'll probably hear a few of me mentioning my mom tonight. Next piece is called I Be That Black. I be that unapologetic black that turned nothing into miracles black. So black, my hands call back home to the motherland. So black, I got prayers from my grandma's hands. So black, my baby hairs curls into a panther's fist. So black, even my poems fight my rights to be black and beautiful. I be that innovative black. High top fades, finger waves, and box braids black. Keeping my head up black, fitted caps and snapbacks black. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. For real black. That educated, melanated, and will be compensated black. The black that white America lacks. The black that built the White House. The black they try to destroy and the black they cannot destroy. I be that black from way back when jazz escaped the fingers of my soul. When I offer you peace, love, and soul. The black that say it loud and proud black that rock steady and told you something good black. That explosive black. The type of black that can't be contained. I'm that nappy roots black. That I know who I am black, that I am beautiful black, that I am not your hashtag black, that I have always mattered black. So black that Panthers envy me. So black the Sphinx was made in my image. So black my black don't crack. So black my black don't crack. So black I sip on immortality. So black me and my kin have a soul train line in heaven. So black I live a long, life. The next poem I'm going to do is called My Poetry. Oftentimes, as a poet, people will give their preferred poems to me and tell me what I should perform. And I'm just like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my art. You're not just gonna tell me what I'm gonna perform. So the name of the piece is My Poetry. My poetry is not your knickknack. My poetry is not your repost on Tumblr. It is not your operating room sorry. My poetry is not your knickknack. My poetry is not your repost on Tumblr. It is not your operating room table to dissect Black voices, Black women voices, Black queer voices. My poetry is louder than a bomb. My poetry is a massacre of vernacular coming from my cardiovascular. It is sweeter than the blood of my people. My poetry is the blood of my people. It is the chestnut colored hue in the souls of Black folk. It is folklore and fiction. It is Black in all its depictions. Don't correct its diction. It is the regret of loving lovers into healing and giving them the pieces of me to complete their puzzles. My poetry is jigsaw. It is functional dysfunction, obeying rules when commas are involved. My poetry is ghetto, yet middle class, yet it be with the street, find its own beat. My poetry is nappy, nagging. Napoleon complex is founded in his haikus. My poetry is rhythm and blues, battered and burned. My poetry is Petty LaBelle, open in libraries so the children can learn how to read. My poetry is red. My poetry cannot be white, and it does not belong to those monsters in blue. My poetry. Yeah. Someone they told me what to perform and I just got upset and wrote a poem about you're not gonna tell me what to perform or how my poetry comes across. This poem is called My Name. My name is Nadia, and growing up in a historically Black high school, I know it sounds weird, right? My high school was the first Black high school in that neighborhood, in the Bronzeville neighborhood. I went to DuSable High School, and I always got made fun of because my name is not the typical name for a Black woman. It's very different. My mom named me after the Russian gymnast Nadia Comaneci, and so I wrote a poem about it. They say my name ain't Black enough. Ain't enough nappy and roots in my syllables. Ain't enough gutter and grit. Ain't enough blood spewing from bales of cotton. Ain't enough pain on its vowels. They say my name don't holler, don't clap on beat. They say my name don't season its food. Say it don't make the right kind of potato salad. They say my name ain't heavy enough to be a martyr or a revolutionary. It's still holding on to what master gave my great, 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 great grandmother. They say my name trying to act white. They say my name really dressed in blackface. Say my name is boxer braid and cultural appropriation. They say my name ain't Black enough. They say it don't come from the South. They say my name isn't the hope of the slave. They say my name won't see graveyards, won't know tombstones too early. My name won't be a hashtag. Say my name won't be shot in Lorraine Hotel or Audubon Ballroom, won't be murdered in police custody, won't see the field of poplar trees. They say my name ain't strange fruit, not a lady that sings the blues. They say my name ain't Black enough. Thank you. Yeah, I got clowned for my name a lot. Because it's not the typical name you would think of in the type of high school I went to. We're gonna get a little more serious. Trigger warning, this poem is about trauma I experienced. In high school, I was set on fire by a female classmate, and I've healed from the situation, but in order for me to heal, I use poetry. Poetry is my healing. It is my home. It is my sanctuary. It is my church house. So I wrote the poem in response to what was going on because I didn't want to talk at the time. I didn't want to talk. All I could do was pray and write. And you guys can check with my mom. All I wanted to do was pray and write at the time. So I wrote a poem in honor of the situation, not glorifying the person who harmed me, but to say that I've let it go, that I've healed. Trauma in the key of fire. I sat in the room across from my principal and the girl who set my hair on fire. She gave me wet apologies, but it can never give me back those minutes of my life being held in her hands. 7 days of suspended sorries just to say it was an accident, feeling the scattering flames on my scalp melanin, nightmares and scriptures knotted in the pit of my stomach. The boogeyman ain't a monster no more, nah. She wears 22-inch Brazilian and carries a lighter. Mental breakdowns before school every morning, collecting the ash ego I had left. I can't shake the terror of another fire on my way. Depression and its diagnosis, as if a fire rising on my lineage wasn't traumatic enough to be PTSD. Anxiety and my stuttering palms each time mama twists my Bantu knots and smoke her Newports. When I smell smoke, a nervous twitch in my neck when I see the flick of that color kush crystal of flame. Mama said, baby girl, it'll be all right. Just a little sulfur 8 and patience. Mama mason jar in my tears. In my mama's arms, I almost forget my life is on fire. Mama wanted the arsonist to bruise, to deteriorate into oblivion, like my curls, like my smile. I remember pressing my palms to my eyes to protect them from the murmuring of the spasmic niter, crouching down not to ascend out of my ashes like a phoenix. All in a matter of seconds, her hands made a disfigured rainbow, and my body reeked of pocket change and ghosty coin coil curls. She set fire to my face. In my fro, she watched me helplessly burn. I watched her wash the sin off her fingertips. I watched her beg for forgiveness as if she deserved it. She still recites sorry like she didn't almost kill me, like she didn't turn me into a burning cross. My hair was not hers to mutilate. My life was not hers to contemplate. My veins still gnaws at the sight of fires one way and open hallways where fear and fire met center stage. But it seems the crowd finally dies down, and hopefully the inferno within won't frighten me anymore. Deep breaths turn into poems, and here we are. In the midst of my Black girl magic, I am a standing mural in honor of the sinners that couldn't choke me, a witch that wouldn't smolder at the stake. I learned in isolation to lull the trauma to sleep, that surviving was my incantation. My presence is spellbinding. And in fire, my Black girl magic healed my 2nd and 3rd degree burns, beautiful battle scars from the cauldron that couldn't cook me. And maybe one day her wet apologies could put out the fire in my memory. But for now, this poem will fan the fire out for the world to see. Thank you. Ooh. That poem is very intense, but it's very necessary. I always say that when you do poetry, you should speak and do your truth, because an audience who loves poetry, they know when you are living a lie. They know when it is not you speaking, it's what you're trying to give to the audience. And you always have to be yourself. Always have to be yourself. We're gonna get serious again. This poem I wrote for my mom. Hey, mama. All my sorors are blowing up the chat. Hey, everybody. Love you guys. I love all of y'all so much. I wrote this poem for my mom. My mom has lupus, and for those of you who don't know what lupus is, it is an autoimmune disease that attacks her cells in her nervous system. And my mom has had it for going on 18 years, because my brother will be 18 in June, and that is when she found out in 2003 that she had lupus. So I wrote this poem specifically for that situation. And it was the first time I actually wrote a poem about her having lupus. I didn't want to face it, didn't want to deal with it, but my mom is my hero. When the lupus comes, my mother, a rich chocolate symphony of who cares and prayers. Mama keeps her patience like her cigarettes short, got God at the end of her fingertips. She got a smile that can crack a Bible by its commandments, a name like gunpowder exiting a dead body. She had presence like the Grim Reaper in school courtyards. She wrote poetry books by their spines. My mama done cheated death in card games. Play bones like her still stand. I heard she made Satan weep. I heard she used to hopscotch over project buildings, and I heard she jumped heaven's gates and beat street lights by their front porches. I held her skeletons in my closet, secrets my father never needed to know. Mama wades the water with the way she hums and sips my name down to the drop. Calls me her baby girl, like I was her Jesus. Like I could rise her nerves from the burial plots life has laid them down to. But I am just a shadow. Not miracle enough to make her nerves rise, so I weep for her. Being her only begotten daughter, I'll crucify my flesh for her. Mama's so doggone beautiful. The moon submerges itself into her darkness to illuminate as much as her. But when the lupus came, mama don't play much card games anymore. Ain't been able to feel herself walk on water since 2003. What have you done to my mama? Her patience has become shorter than them cigarettes, but they take her mind off the pain. It seems God has lost my mama's state of homeostasis in old maid games with Satan, gambling away my happiness. My savior has now been forsaken. Lupus, an autoimmune disease that makes it hard for my mother to be in peace. She now stumbles at heaven's gates. Satan just laughs at her, unable to lift the dice for this game called life when the lupus comes. I will call the devil's bluff at the table, say the dice are loaded. He reneged countless times, and that is why you're still here, mama, when the lupus comes. I will pray like Paul and Silas until God shakes the chains that have conformed you to your own selves, mama, hoping that my prayer will give you automatic immunity in this current life and not the one after, when the lupus comes. I'm also super religious, you guys. Born and raised in Baptist church. My uncle is a pastor. My mom is missionary, and my dad is a deacon. So you will hear a lot of Bible references, church references, because that is what makes Nadia Nadia. I'm gonna change the vibe, and not to say that I don't like people that do love poems, but I'm going to do a love poem. It's cliche to me, so I don't do it that often. But I wrote this poem in honor of my significant other. I hope he was able to make it onto the Zoom call. And it's after one of my favorite poets from Def Poetry Jam, Shihan. It's called This Type Love, Part 2. I want that poetic and romantic hood-inspired type love, the type of love that he reads my poems while I grease his scalp, the type of love that I'll give you my last piece of chicken. If I had $1.99 of it's yours type love, the type of love where misogyny holds no bounds on us, his ego don't bruise by my beauty, nor my success type love, the type of love where I still love me more than him, where I'm still myself while I'm with him, the type of love where he helped me take down my braids, the type of love he buys me coconut oil and fries, that text back in a minute type love, that cuddle and talk about our dreams, God, white supremacy, hip hop, and Black Lives Matter and type love, that slow dance with me in a sea of people type love, that what I love most, he has so much soul type love. He be that perfect verse and I be his hook type love, that we don't need passwords because I don't need to snoop type love. I don't need to snoop type love, the type of love that makes me sing, dude, you know you rock my world. I be girl and you be boy, love of my life. The type of love Stevie Wonder and Luther sang about. If this world was his, I'd still be me in his world. Unshaved legs, bantu knots, and a bonnet. He be petty with me, that type love. He supports my dreams. He is my king, my morning sun. If we have one, I'll call him by no other but his father. And if we have a daughter, she will reflect the grace of God. And we love each other enough for a millennia to collapse. And our love to snap it back. That type love. I wrote that in the very beginning of our relationship. As you can tell, I was really in the cupcake phase. But yeah, that's my blueberry. If he's on here, hey babe. So yeah, so we're gonna do another Chicago poem. This one is What Heaven Must Be Like from a Chicago's perspective. The fountain overflows with 50-cent juices and fruities, and Harold Washington sits in a gilded seat with open arms for his fallen children. Gwendolyn Brooks reads you a prayer in her lap, and Gil Scott Heron echoes back the New Testament, the Lord's Supper, a holy trinity of heralds, Uncle Remus and sharks. Here immortality is real. Concrete no longer cripples children. Hashtags don't swallow their names anymore. Roses in the streets to bless the feet, that footwork. In Donda's house are many mansions. And one day when this life is over, I'll fly away. It's a sweet hum from the mouths of babies taken too soon. The fire hydrants rain out with nostalgia of being vagabonds on the low end and in Inglewood. Our dreams have touched the hem of Jesus' garment, and we don't have to be buckets to feed our families anymore. Every day is a juke/house party with perfect rotation DJ by Herb Kent, Doug's Banks, and Silk. Hidea Pendleton plays symphonies with Muddy Waters. In heaven, the shooters and the victims can both live in harmony. because ain't no ghettos pushing violence down their throats no more. Thank you. I love Chicago. That's my city, that's my home, that's my life. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So that's just me. We're gonna get a little churchy in here. I have a poem called Mad World, Good God. I speak to God in public, no sense of being underground like Harriet Tubman. Got my power forward like Andre Drummond. Just know my Father's coming. From my calling, I'm no longer running. God's picking up my blessings. As I learn all my lessons while my spirit is confessing, I won't sell like God like concessions. God is the word and the word is God, and he has set me apart like a drafted message. God gives me the keys to success like a Lexus. Pride comes before the fall. I get your methods. That's why I praise you even when I'm stepping. To be blessed is to be made holy or to be consecrated. God, don't make me famous. I'd rather be nameless and satisfied with you. God, let me be frank. Without you, I was nothing, literally dirt of the earth, not yet knowing my worth until you breathe life into me. Your blessings and favor consume me. For the Holy Trinity, I am a groupie. For my Father is a gentleman. Each day he swoons me. Opening doors, bless me beyond what I could ask for or think. My God blessed me before I could even blink. God, you've allowed blessings to overflow in my life through my self-inflicted pain, misery, and strife, even when I've been the prodigal son. For I was the loneliest number one, eating slop amongst beasts, and yet you blessed me. With your Holy Trinity, I could see God in me. No, Mary. God has blessed me to be a visionary. My love for God, unlike this earthly body, will not be temporary. God, you blessed me before I finished the sentence. God is the only one I want in my DMs and mentions. With every activity of my limbs, I'll sing your praises and hymns. I'll praise you in Jordans, Converse, sandals, and Timbs. For when Jesus rolled the stone away on that third day, it was for me. You giving your only begotten so that the blessings cannot be forgotten. Loving us even when our hearts have turned rotten. God, I'll never turn my back on you. To become a pillar of salt like the wife of Lot, I'll be a baptizing John, a faithful Abraham, and Noah full of belief. God, you've been with me as I was shaky as a leaf and made me into solid rock. And with every trial, tribulation, my heart should have stopped. When I was offering up my soul on sin's auction block, God, you should have stopped my clock. As the author of time, you seem fit for me to stand here and have another day and spit another rhyme of your praises. So don't judge me when you see me hooping, hollering about being God's daughter, because my steps have been directed in his order. For his mercy is priceless, worth more than a quarter. And his house I lord, because I'm in my Father's house are many mansions. And God has been the best of companions. Since days of Adam and Eve, God, I have chosen to believe you to be the only. And you have allowed my cup to run over. So I don't wish for luck on a 4-leaf clover till my God has supplied my needs. Thank you. Like I said, very religious. I think in every incident that I've been through, God has always brought me through it. No matter what it was, there was always a way out. And I thank the Lord for that. Next poem we're going to get into is called Dear White People. To be white in America is to set the fire and hide the gasoline and matches. It's to get a hot meal after a mass murder. It's to have the right to be peacefully detained, to go home to your family, to be a misunderstood teen. To be white in America is to be able to eat Skittles, wear hoodies, play music loud, love yourself, love your lover in broad daylight, be white in broad daylight or at night, whichever is convenient for your privilege. To be white and racist in America is to be unqualified but still get the job. To be white is to put your blonde hairs on everything and call it something different. And that's called American, called America, where you Columbus your way over the blood, sweat, and tears of the indigenous people you exploit for your own profit and privilege. To be white in America is to be sorry that your ancestors enslaved my ancestors, but still want me to get over slavery. Still want me to get over the fact that Flint ain't got no clean water. And say it ain't about race. To be white in America is to be the first to know and the first to be evacuated. To be white in America is to be the master not noticing how often you use your whip because the system protects your privilege. To be white in America is to be pure cocaine, summer homes, and horror movies, that the last to die but the first to trip over nothing. To be white in America is to have your rapists, pillaging, land stealing, heritage as the core curriculum, and mine is just the shortest month of the year. To be white It's to have choices, to be indecisive without being called lazy or irresponsible, to exist without fear. How does that feel? To be carefree. So carefree that your ignorance shields you from your own privilege. So carefree that your mother can sleep at night, that you too can dream without your body feeling dead, unwanted. But the most used is reference. You are the patient in the hospital with a cold, ignoring my gun wound. The house that did not burn but wants to get watered to. The America ignoring my Holocaust. You're a vermin, a cancer. How does it feel to be racist? How does it feel to be white in America? Thank you. I wrote that poem because I had an altercation with a classmate here at ISU who felt the need to say that he was a minority. Yes, he was white, cis, and male, and he felt like he was the minority as Black Lives Matter was popping off. And this was a response to him. I still laugh back at that day that he felt like he was a minority. So yes, I am educated. Yes, I am melanated, and I am professional. But guess what? I like to twerk. So I wrote a poem for Black girls who like to twerk. Poems for Black girls when twerk tutorials aren't enough. Last night, my skin crawled into bed with me. I was drunken, numb to the body that I had achieved. Last night, young Afro-Americano man touched waist, caressed hips. He tried to dive into a private lake, tried to pry open both doors, but it was just a dance. And he was just a soulless body. Last night, spandex against jeans made the sweetest sound until he opened his mouth, until he didn't ask for consent. I sunk my thoughts into my hips and asserted my position. I collapsed into midnight. My lips lingered with some man's last name. He called me darkness. He got lost in my abyss. Too much loneliness in my space. He tried to translate in body language, but he wasn't speaking the right tongue. Brokenness in his dialect. His jargon wasn't smooth enough. My body cascaded across the base. I was alive in a catacomb, slowly fading away into nothingness. I wrote this one freshman year, and it was basically about like dancing with a guy, and he was trying to go home with me, and I wasn't with it. So, how's everybody doing? Tell me in the comments. I know I just been back to back with the poetry. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go into the next poem. Thank you, Kitty. I love you, Neo. We're gonna go ahead and go into the next poem. I oftentimes find myself writing love poems to Chicago because I couldn't see myself being from anywhere else. Chicago is such a great city, such a great place to be, with such a overwhelmingly present feeling. And by that, I mean like Chicago is different. You have so many combinations of things to feel when you're in Chicago. You feel happiness, but you also feel concern and caution, but yet you feel like you want to explore everywhere. Like Chicago is a conundrum in its best sense. It's a conundrum. Chicago's different. So I wrote a love poem to Wendy. She held my hand when the storms came. She broke Black boys by the jaws, kissed them by the bullets. Her foundation can't cover her pores. Her tears all salty, like she done chewed attitude into a pit. She washes her face in crimson. She cooked up concoctions mild enough to live through 18 or 21, but sometimes her babies are immune. She used tombstones as nail filers. She took that powder snow out her nose. Her heart looked like a wasteland, because ain't no rhythm a bucket boy could beat to revive her. Her body a series of broken sidewalks. Her hips a hashed division of lines and intersections. A love poem to Wendy. Like I said, I love my city. Chicago is probably literally one of the greatest places on earth. Again, I know it has its troubling past and its current with Mayor Lightfoot, but we're not gonna get into all of that. We gonna celebrate Chicago for what I know it to be. And it's really a great place. I have a poem that I have never performed before. And I think I'm going to go ahead and perform it for you guys today. It is another Chicago poem, don't hate me. And for those of you in the audience that have never been to a juke jam, a juke or like a juke party, it is basically a party full of underage children from the ages of like 12 until like 20. Yeah, like 12, 20, like 12, 18. And at these parties, children are just dancing to this Chicago music called juke music. And if you're from Chicago, you know, if you don't know what juke music is, when we get to the Q&A, I will give y'all some suggestions. So I wrote a poem called Juke Jam, a musical. Don't judge me. So la-di-da-di-da-di-da. The crowd forms a circle and out comes the first dancer. Dun dun dun, get down, little mama. Dun dun dun, get down, little mama. The room full of anticipation and sweat, and he begins to sway around the circle, picking up the rhythm. His all-white G Fazos, the real stars of the show. The sweaty gym floor becomes a bouncing beam. His feet do the acrobatics that we've all come to love. Get down, little mama, get down, little mama, get down, little mama. The song switches. Let's twerk, let's work, let's bob, let's jerk. Now come on now, let's juke, let's juke, let's juke. And in comes a 6'3" wizard of the crowd, balancing ankle and heel in perfect rotation, moving, sliding, creating static. His body, a needle on the record, ready to spin, and footwork a combo to discourage his competition. Shake, 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 ba, 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 ba. Work, work, twerk, twerk, juke, juke. Come on now, let's juke. The song changes. Bounce and break that back. Bounce and break your back so hard you break your back, girl. And now roars a collective of shapely ebony women, preparing to lay down skills on the floor, one arm across the other, then the other, and then rotation, crouching into the position of bouncing and breaking her back. She hits one leg and hits the other with constant hand motion. She is alive, proceeding to rotate her bottom and back. The song changes. Out comes a boy with locks, wife beater, lifted pants, lifted shirt, past his dreads, and he rolls his stomach like waves. Out comes his female equal, slowly ticking her body towards him. He places his hands on her waist and proceeds to intrigue the crowd, his body pulsing with hers. Song changes. Soon, the room reeks of sweat and now past curfew. Here, the beauty of the walla cam and twerk, hip roll, and footwork and tutorial showcase. Come on now, let's juke. I wrote this poem because I technically was not allowed to go to juke parties because I was too young and my mom wouldn't let me go out the house. So I wrote it in honor of juke parties because my first juke party I went to, I was like 18. I was grown at that point. And yeah, I wrote it in honor of the experience I couldn't have because my mom was like, they was being fast out there, so I couldn't go be fast with other people. I thank her for that though. Thank you. I think I will do like 2 more poems and then we can get into the Q&A portion if you guys like. I'm going to do one of my favorites, and I think it's like probably a favorite of some of the people that go to ISU as well. And it's called Black Boy Magic. I perform this piece a lot, and I wrote it in honor of my younger brother. And I did it because my younger brother and Tamir Rice literally have the same birthday. The only difference is a year. Tamir Rice was 1 year older than my brother. And I began to see that this world is not going to be kind to him. And I love my brother with everything in me. And he is magical. He is my inspiration. So I wrote this poem called Black Boy Magic for my baby brother. Well, he's not a baby anymore. He's going to be 18 June 25th. Black boy, be magical, be landslide in the race of race, be a bulletproof Luke Cage. In a world full of trigger happy police, be mama's pride and joy, be God's, be Lazarus when his name become a hashtag, be more than a hashtag, be beautiful. Be Sunday prayers held in the Bible, Be biblical miracles, the type to turn blood into a poem. Be conscious, be dope, be love. Black boy, be Martin and Malcolm, Common and Ice Cube, be Lil Uzi and J. Cole, be Darnell, Sean, Jay, Deshaun, Dre, Quan, or TJ. Be unorthodox names, but never unethical. In heaven, Black boys can be carefree, drinking Arizona, eating Skittles, playing music too loud, wearing a hoodie, getting married, selling loose squares. Black boy be a shotgun heard around the world. Be melanin-filled kings, be fathers, not baby daddies, be men, not thugs, be humans, then Black boy, Black man, then Black boy. Be alive on the days where they find a shade safe enough to hide in, safe enough to confine in. Black boys be the preacher, be panther, be lion, be king, even if his brother be his killer. But he died with pride. Be solid like rock, be musician, be hustler, all in the same color corner. Black boy makes waves. Black boy make waves. Black boy be more than statistic. Black boy graduate. Black boy love his Black woman. Black boy love who he loves. Black boy non-conforming. Black boy beats headlines by their typewriters. Black boy writes his history. Black boy be his own man. Black boy be his own gangster. Black boy be presidential, even if he comes from a single parent household. Be cornbread meals filled with cooked buttermilk. Be collard greens and cornbread. Neck bones be the amen during the prayer. Black boy be who I love. Be who I pray for. Be who I thank God for. Be who I write for. My brother, my lover, my father, my friend. Black boy be you. Be magical. I love my brother. He is where most of my money goes. And this world can be very unkind to young Black men. And I just want him to know that he has me. Always and fully. Thank you, Soror. You guys are gonna make me cry. Don't make me cry. I want to finish strong, but like I'm trying to figure out what's my last poem I'm gonna read for you guys. Oh, I'm so glad that all of you came today. I really appreciate all of you coming out and supporting me, because you know I've been doing poetry for a while, but like I always enjoy support from everybody. So I think the last poem, I'm gonna make it a funny poem. And it was a poem that I wrote in dedication to a dude who had me messed up. It's before I got with my significant other. And he very much so had me messed up. And I had to let him know in the form of poetry that he had me messed up. So the poem is called To You Fool College Boys After Rachel Wiley's Dry Cake Wishes and Tap Water Dreams. I wish you a lottery ticket that you lose, a life of white shoes that everyone steps on. I wish you a life full of negative balances. I wish you semesters full of expensive access codes. I wish you long nights of studying and always failing. I wish you waves that never go in the right direction. I wish you unseasoned chicken, Harold's and no mouth sauce. I wish you Chance's mixtape with no speakers or headphones. I wish you a tone deaf Beyonce. I wish you a tongue twisted J. Cole. I wish you a shotgun wedding. I wish you a paper cut from a paper cup. I wish you cereal with water. I wish you no Big Booty Judy. I wish you a juke party with a bogus DJ. I wish you an iPhone that's always connecting. I wish you a beautiful chick who's sleeping with your best friend. I wish you new Jordans with no soles and no shoelaces. I wish you Alicia Keys poems. I wish you Alicia Keys poems. I wish you endless Raven Simone's and Stacey Dashes in your inboxes. I wish you music that's always buffering. I wish you endless broke weekends. I wish you a useless degree. I wish you a month full of mundane Mondays. I wish you a job at Red Lobster's that's always out of biscuits and it's busy on Sundays. I wish you Popeye's biscuits with no juice. I wish you a long marriage with someone you don't love, but I don't wish you me. You don't deserve me ever again. I wish you all daughters who get their heart broken by my sons. I wish you daughters who write poetry and all come on their periods one right after each other. I wish you a ceiling full of centipedes above your bed forever. Thank you. I love that poem because he had me messed up. You guys want to like open it up to questions now? Because I was like, it's 4:47.
Yeah, we could like seriously, we could all keep going for this like, Nadia, this has been amazing. Amazing. You've gotten us like so like blessed with your poetry today. You've given us so many emotions. That last one had me laughing out loud. Like, I can't tell you, like, the ride we've been on together, like, this is amazing. And I love that people are showing their love in the comments. Keep in the chat, keep that coming. We did want to leave a little time for Q&A with Nadia if folks have questions. So, I mean, feel free, or comments, or want to give her all the praise that she's due, because she's due it. You can feel free to come off mute. You can put things in chat. We're kind of just opening it up at this point. So someone is asking you if you know the very first poem you wrote.
I still have the poem. I don't remember it, but I have the notebook I wrote it in and everything. It's still very much so preserved. I wrote it about this dude, and I remember his name. His name was Prince Dukes. We went to the same middle school. We went to Williams Prep Middle School on 2710 South Dearborn. And I just thought this man was the most beautiful, dark-skinned man I had ever seen. He looked like Fabulous. If y'all don't know who the rapper Fabulous is, look him up. And I just thought he was adorable. So I wrote that poem about him. And I was just like, wow. I had all these feelings for a dude that was never going to pay my little sixth grader self no attention. But that was my first poem. I wrote it about Prince Dukes. And the rest is history. This is why I also don't love poems or poems about emotions.
Oh man. Okay. So another question has come through. So like, how or when did you know poetry was your life path?
Oh, honestly, I have definitely deterred from the path a few times, but it keeps coming back. It's like a boomerang. No matter how I try to get rid of it, no matter how many times I say I'm not going to write anything new, I'm not going to pick up the pen again, it always comes back. Poetry is just like one of those things that it's just meant to be. Definitely meant to be. I know y'all got some questions in there. I know y'all got some in there.
Oh, somebody wants to know what your writing process is like. Do you get inspired and write something down, or do you take a theme and work through it?
So I mainly I get inspired and write something down. The way I write is kind of like a battle rapper. So usually a punchline will pop in my head, and then the poem grows from that. So there have been several times, like the last poem I did, I really said I wished him waves that wouldn't go in the right direction. And waves is this hairstyle that like Black men have that's very low, and it's kind of like a little 360 situation going on. And if they don't go in the right direction, it looks all messed up, basically. So like I write like a battle rapper, and I will start with the punchline and build from there.
That's so good to know. So, okay, there's a couple in here that kind of go together. So someone says, when is your first book getting published? But then someone wants to say, thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. Curious if you've considered making a book, or is spoken word the aspect of performance more significant than having it written for sharing? So if you are planning a book, we'd love to know, because we'd love to get it for the library. But also, like, do you see a difference between your performance and the written pieces of this?
So the first couple of years I did poetry, all of it mainly was written. I didn't mainly get into performance poetry until I was introduced to Def Poetry Jam. And I want to thank my now soror, Nadia Colton, for putting me on to Def Poetry Jam, because she nurtured my talents. I started watching Def Poetry Jam and like, I could perform this. Like I could make it a whole thing. So it's like, I'm into both. My mom has been getting on me for years, and I mean years, since I started doing poetry, to do a book. So if God ever grants me with someone who, wants to fund all the money for me doing a book, I will gladly put one out. No problem. I already had several ideas for books. So I would love to put one out. Just got to get the funds. That's it.
Okay, we see you, we hear you. That's good to know. You got buyers out there for sure. Someone asks, did you ever have any fear in sharing your poetry? If so, how did you overcome it?
I literally am always nervous. my grandma Melba, she always says that if you are not nervous, that means you do not care. So I definitely care about how I sound, how I look, and how it comes to people. How I get over it is just realizing that I am speaking my truth, that I am here in this moment, and what I am doing in a sense of church is giving my testimony. Someone else is experiencing what I'm going through, and they need to know that they are not alone. So I take it as that.
Thank you for sharing. So again, if you have questions for Nadia, you can get them in chat. You can come off mute, whatever works for you. I've got one for you, which is, what's coming next for you, Nadia? Like, what's the next thing for Nadia? Like, where is your poetry going to go from here? Do you see any inspiration on your horizon?
Honestly, I want to do so much with poetry. I'm just going to speak it into existence. Me personally, I definitely want to do what Maya Angelou did. And I want to get a Grammy for poetry, my spoken word. That's probably on my bucket list. That's the biggest thing that I want to do. On a smaller scale, I would love to submit my manuscript for a fellowship. So I will be working on that. And I have a performance with student involvement on Sunday. If you guys are on campus, I will be there. I believe the event starts at 12, and it's just a recording of me performing. Just be on the lookout. You guys can reach me at my email. If you need it, just let me know. And yeah.
I was gonna say, people can reach out to you like I did, just like, we want to hear your poetry. Come for us. This is great. So, okay, y'all. Any other questions for Nadia? Folks are asking if you're on social media. You got those details?
Yes. Okay, so my name on Twitter is pretty long, and my name on Instagram is pretty long. So I'm gonna drop it in the chat for you guys. I promise I will. You guys are welcome to follow me. I follow back. I promise I am not bougie like that. I love followers. I love people that interact with me. I love it so much. So I'm going to give you guys my Twitter handle first. So that Nadia J631998 is my Twitter. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my Instagram. And then my name on Facebook is just Nadia Williams.
She's giving you all the details. This is great. And then someone else is asking, how can we support you? Is there any way that folks can support you, show you love on social media? What you want from us?
You guys are asking great questions today. I definitely will let you guys know when I'm having more performances. I also will be doing Tiny Desk with the International Youth Choir as well. My booking info, you basically just email me and we can talk. I also have a website. I will give you guys that as well. This is so overwhelming, you guys. But yes, you guys can support me at my events. I always drop what I'm doing on my social media handles. If you guys just want to for me to come and perform for you or your events, I'm always open and welcome. Just hit me up.
This is so great. People are throwing you so much love in the chat. Nadia, we're so thankful for you to be with us today and to share and be vulnerable and just be excellent. It's been amazing. Seriously, this has been a great event. And so I think we want to round it out strong. So if folks want to, give those claps, give those reactions for Nadia. Again, we appreciate you all coming out today to celebrate National Poetry Month. What a great, foray into poetry with Nadia today. This has been amazing. And I hope everybody has a great day. We've got a recording of this that's available for folks that weren't able to attend. So if if there's somebody you're like, oh, they would have loved that poem or whatever, reach out to us. Erin, do you mind dropping your email in chat? The other thing we have for you today is a real brief, evaluation of this event. The library would love to do more events, and we'd love to hear from you about how this one was and what else we can offer you in the future. So we're going to drop that link in the chat as well. Nadia, do you have any parting words for the folks today?
Thank you all for coming and supporting me and hearing my poetry. Black Lives Matter and support Black art, definitely. And most importantly, you all, thank you. Just thank you so much. And I'm giving honor and grace to God.
That's a great way to end it. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for coming. We appreciate you all. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
y'all.